have a special guest today. I like to do this every Monday when possible, noon Central Standard Time. If you're watching this back on YouTube, please join our Facebook group, Lisa Zimmer Essential Oils Biz Tips, if you are wanting to share doTERRA with others and build a doTERRA business and help us on our mission to get oils in every home and change our healthcare system. Looks like people are joining us. Fantastic. All right, so my special guest today is Pamela Thedos, and the reason I'm excited to have her on is I caught her commenting on a post about our trifold and how she's brand new to building in doTERRA. She's not brand new to doTERRA, but brand new to building in doTERRA, and how just using the trifold in her doTERRA everyday real life, which is what I want to focus on today, she's been able to chat and enroll with people. And the trifold, you're new to the trifold, the Zimmer trifold has given her the confidence to do that. We simply took here at Lisa Zimmer Essential Oils Biz Tips, we took the doTERRA class in a box and converted it to a trifold brochure that you can keep in your purse. So for example, I keep mine in my purse in a pencil case. And so anytime I'm out and about and someone says to me, oh, you smell good, or, oh, what are you putting on your face there? Or, oh, what are you rolling? That smells great. Whatever it is, I reach in my purse and I grab a trifold and I hand it to them, and it helps me engage comfortably in conversation. Pamela has been using that, and Pamela is a director in doTERRA, brand spanking new, right out of the gate, right? And she was using with confidence the trifolds to chat with people in her doTERRA everyday real life. She just launched, her first class was yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yay. But what we want to hear from Pamela about is how she has used the trifold to give her confidence to engage with people about doTERRA everywhere, not just the class setting. Too many people are missing these limitless opportunities to share doTERRA everywhere. And so I wanted Pamela to share places that she's been able to do it, how she's done it, some of the things that she said to help give you the confidence to do it too. So Pamela, take it away.
Hi, everybody.
Yes.
Thanks for having me, Lisa.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I got your trifold in January, and I was so excited because really frustrated with the ability to give people something concrete when I would talk to them. It was just sort of we'd have a short conversation, and then how do you get them to take action? How do you get them to feel like they actually have useful information from just a conversation? You can't make them memorize your doTERRA website, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah. Or, asking them to get out their phone so you can text them something. It's kind of awkward. So having the trifolds has just made all the difference for me. And I've been really amazed at how easy it's been to just, listen to people and be waiting for an opportunity, because I believe every single person needs oils in their home everywhere in the world. So if you really believe that, yeah, if you really believe that, then looking for opportunities is, it's just sort of at the top of your thought process wherever you are. How can I help this person? How can I help that person? So
it sounds to me like you're really good at creating opportunities. So that's something I want to talk about today too. Even though the one you mentioned to me that I want you to share in the restroom, even though that was unintentional, right? You were using your doTERRA in public. So share that situation. Was that your first situation where you were able to do this, or
in the restroom?
Yeah.
So,
okay, share that one. That one's good.
I was in California. I live in Colorado, and I was in California for a weekend retreat at 1440 University, and take my oils everywhere. And I had taken the trifold. I just printed them the night before. And I was in the bathroom, in a shared bathroom. It was a dorm style situation. And there was a woman standing next to me, and I leaned into the mirror and put yarrow palm under my tongue. And she said, "Oh, what are you doing? What is that?" And I said, "Well, it's called yarrow palm. It's from doTERRA, and it's essential oil. it's an essential oil. And she said, I'm really interested to know more about what that is. So of course, you know, it was just sort of, woo, here we go. So I told her, yes, in the bathroom, in our robes. It was just, yeah, we had a short conversation and I said, I would love to bring you something. Can I bring you something to your room? And she said, sure, of course. So I went to my room, grabbed a trifold. She gave me her room number and I went to her room number, and she and her daughter were there. And she said, my daughter has actually used Doterra. She has a couple of bottles. And so, yes, I'd love to learn more. So I handed her the trifold and I said, why don't we meet for breakfast in the big dining hall? So we did. Her daughter joined us.
Still in your robe.
Yeah, we got dressed, met each other in the dining hall, and talked about, you know, I just wanted to kind of get to know her and know what her needs are and what they're experiencing and all of that. So we could have talked for a lot longer, but both of our classes were starting, so we had to scoot. So we made a plan. We exchanged cell phone numbers, and the next week I texted her, and she enrolled with a Home Essentials, or with the Family Essentials kit.
But it made it easy. She had her trifold to
she
look
had
at.
the thing.
Love
Exactly. Yep. So that's how it's been going a lot of the time.
I want to hear about, I love that. So, I mean, that one was super unintentional, right? Because you're just in the bathroom doing what you do.
Yes.
But that's what we have to remember too, is if people see us doing what we do with Doterra, it's going to pique their interest. And that one you couldn't plan for, right? You're in a robe, you're doing what you do. But I want to help our audience realize, most of the time we'd be like, oh, it's Yarapam, it's great. And then we'd start vomiting useless information about our oils and what we love. And I want people to change their mindset to, wow, this is an opportunity to help this person get Doterra. I need to make that happen for them. I need to help them. And so many people have that mindset of, oh, awkward. I don't want to be pushy right now. We're in our robes. I don't want to be salesy. And it's like, stop selling and just start telling, right?
Yeah.
Just tell them about that. And when you have that comfortable mindset that, because you and I have the same mindset, everybody needs Doterra. Why would I not talk to this lady while I'm naked in the bathroom? Right?
That's exactly, because you're living it. You're living your Doterra world. You know, you're in your robe in the bathroom.
Yeah, it makes them easier to believe it. So I want to hear about, because I liked your segue there, right? She said, what are you doing? That was a natural engagement there because she saw you use that product. And you said, after you visited, right? Hey, can I bring something to your room, right? Yeah, ask for permission, And I want to hear about, in those situations you've mentioned where you are doing your Doterra real life at the bank, in line to cash a check. Tell us a couple of scenarios there that you've.
Okay.
Even if it didn't take you to an enrollment, I want people to hear what language you use to make that segue from I'm standing in line to now I'm talking to someone about oils. Can you give us a scenario there? Okay,
I sure can. A few weeks ago, I went into the bank to close an account. I have other accounts there still, but I needed to close an account. So I had to sit down with a banker. And she and I went through the whole thing about, you know, what's next and all. I had to wait a couple of weeks to make sure all the transactions were through. So just normal banking. I left my backpack in the car rather than bringing it into the bank because I thought this was just going to be a quick thing. Well, after we got done, she looked at me and she said, I love your hair. It is so beautiful how you've let the gray grow out. And she said, you know, I really want to do that because I'm so tired of the toxins. Ping, right? You know, you just go, oh, toxic load. Let's reduce the toxic load. Yeah. So I said, well, you want to know how I did it rather than letting it grow out for a year and a half or two? I got it cut to a ½ an inch long, down to my roots. And I just let it regrow from there. And she said, oh, I would never be brave enough to do that, but I so want to stop using toxic dyes. And then I just started talking about the toxic load that we all experience in all of our bathroom products, all of our personal healthcare and, you know, cosmetics and all of that. Just a quick, yeah, it's really a lot of junk in there. That's why I'm a wellness advocate with Doterra oils. And she said, really? Well, what do you mean? So then it just went from there. And I said, well, I help people, you know, get Doterra into their lives, find other ways to deal with their healthcare rather than the medicine chest. And it's working so beautifully for me that I've been able to replace everything I used to use with these products. And I feel so much better about not dumping all this garbage into my body all the time. So she said, do you have a card? And I said, actually, can I run to my car? She said, of course. And I said, I don't want to get you in trouble or take up too much of your time. She said, you are totally fine. So I ran to my car, I got my oils.
Giving you all those signals that she
exactly.
You're not being pushy.
Yeah. No, and I didn't say, okay, I'll bring it to you next time, right? I said, do you have a second for me to run to my car? Right? Yes. So I went to my car, I got a trifold, I got my oils, and I said, I handed it to her and she looked at it and I said, can I just share something with you? And she said, absolutely. So I put lavender in her palm and she smelled it. And then I put peppermint in her palm and she just sat there with her hands over her face, breathing and breathing. And she said, this is absolutely amazing. Can you do anything for this? That, you know, are there? I said, yes, there are oils for everything. So, I was feeling like I had taken up a great deal of her time in the lobby, right? Yeah. She said, would you come back and talk to my coworker? She's all into the natural stuff. And I said, absolutely, I will. She's actually the one who opened this account that I just closed. So I already know. So, yeah, that was that. She stood up, came around her desk and hugged me and thanked me for giving her all of this information. And she said, oh, and you smell so good, because I had cheer on. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So I invited her to my class.
Here's what you did that you're really good at, is what I'm picking up. Sorry for interrupting, but I want to point things out that people might not catch. You continued to ask her permission.
Yes.
You didn't just keep talking at her and monopolizing her time without qualifying that she wanted you to do that. And so you are respectful with the way that you do it. You're not just rambling and assuming, and you're qualifying her as you go. Can I go get this and bring this back in? Can I share this with you? Am I taking up too much of your time? And that's what we need to remember. We still need to remember to be respectful of our audience, and not just because we want to share doTERRA with them, not just vomit with them or start monopolizing their time, but doing what you did. Asking their permission and qualifying them as they go to make sure it fits the scenario and their timeline and their level of interest.
Exactly.
Did you then segue right to that other person right away, or did you set a time to come back and talk to her another time?
That other person was with a customer, so I haven't made that contact yet, but I did go back to the bank the other day because I needed to open a new checking account for a different reason. And that person, Anne, whom I talked to before, wasn't there. So this nice young man came over and got me from the lobby, and we sat down, and one of the first things he said was, excuse me, I'm so sorry, I have a cough and my throat's a little crummy. And he was eating a cough drop. And we started to talk, and he put his sweater up over his mouth and he coughed into it. And he said, I'm really sorry. I'm just getting over this. And I said, can I give you something? And I pulled out an On Guard cough drop from my backpack and I just slid it across the desk. I said, give this a try. And he said, what is this? And I explained what it was. I just very briefly, I said, it's a cough drop. It's got essential oils in it. And it's from doTERRA. And he said, can I go online and get these? You know, so just this. So that was last week, and I happened to be having my class yesterday. So in my backpack, I had the Natural Solutions cards filled out for my class, invitations, paper clipped to a trifold. And I said, and he said, I'm really interested to learn more about natural things. And so is my girlfriend. And I said, well, here, I'd like to invite you to an essential oils class that I'm having. It's happening Sunday. And he looked at it and he said, this is awesome. You and my girlfriend and her sister, you're all the good witches. It's just,
They will take it, right?
yeah, exactly.
I want to point something out. So many people make the mistake of just giving the invitation to the class.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And what you did that worked so well was the invitation to the class with the trifold.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because what happens is, right, the opportunity wasn't there at that moment to go ahead and enroll him. You felt that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's at the bank.
Right? The trifold could do it. His girlfriend's the one that's going to be the most interested based on, just what I've heard from you say, right? So, but what worked for you is don't just invite people to a class. Make sure you have your trifold with you everywhere you go. Mm-hmm. Because if he just had the invitation and the class time didn't work out, they can't go online and enroll themselves with the invitation to a class. And exactly. Right. And so they're going to see a missed opportunity. They're going to say, never mind. They're going to go on They're going to go on the internet and order adulterated products from Amazon because you did a good job talking about the product, but you didn't get to the finish line. Mm-hmm. How to get the product from you. So what was perfect about that? The invitation with the trifold so that the opportunity can't be missed. Mm-hmm. Nice job.
Well, thank you. Yeah, because the Sunday passed, the card gets tossed and they have no reference, but that trifold is a lasting thing that can lay there for as long as,
takes them to take action.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fantastic. So that's where I want people to envision how you need to pack that purse or the car, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you didn't have your trifolds and your oils in when you went into the bank, right? Mm-hmm. But you still knew they were in the car.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Even if all you have is the Doterra keychain in your car and a stack of trifolds, they should always be in there. They can fit right in the side panel of your door, in your glove box, in your console. So I have trifolds in every vehicle. I don't think I have oils in every vehicle, but I literally never go anywhere without an oil of some kind. Even if I walk in somewhere without an oil in my purse, I always have lip gloss and Rolly in my pocket. So I'm pretty much, you will not find me without an oil. And so they're in the purse ready to go so that you have that tool and that opportunity to open that conversation. Let me visit on the phone here and see if we have any questions. All right, so Bonnie says, with trifold, what do you use for order forms? Bonnie, the trifold tells people how to log in and enroll themselves. And you can actually, if the opportunity had presented itself, Pamela was in those two situations, right, at a bank, with other customers, and they were doing other things. So the opportunity didn't present itself to drop what they were doing and enroll on the phone. But that's what she could have done. The trifold gives them the directions to enroll themselves. So she could have, had she had the opportunity to take it to the finish line so she could change their life, right? It's not about closing the sale. It's about helping getting these products to change their life forever for the better, right? So she could have opened her phone and enrolled them right there. But because that wasn't the way the situation was laid out, she was able to send them home with the trifold, and these people follow the directions and enroll themselves. You don't need order forms. Lola says, we're catching them in the middle of daily life. We continue to ask permission throughout. So important to recognize. Yes. It's so painful for me when I see wellness advocates just talking at people and not asking questions, right? Tell me about you. Tell me about your interest in toxin-free living, or, can I go, right? We should be asking people questions to engage, to qualify them. Do they want to keep hearing me talk? And you should be talking as little as possible. And so that's why I want everyone to memorize the 60-second enrollment process, because it's not about us talking. It's not about us talking a lot. It's about talking very little to pique their interest, to get them talking about themselves so we can learn about them, so that we can help them get enrolled as quickly as possible without a lot of complicated words, so that they can turn around from us, right? So even at the bank, Pamela, your lady that you were talking to at the bank said, I wanted you to talk to my friend too, right? You can also, and you probably did this, you gave her the trifold and say, hey, share this other one with your friend. They can turn around and do exactly what you just did and enroll people and get other people into the doTERRA lifestyle so we can all change the healthcare world. They can't do that if you're talking at them a bunch of random educational information about oils that they'll never retain, right? So you have to say as little as possible, effectively, get them engaged, get them talking so they can turn around and do exactly what you did. So that's the importance of a trifold. It requires you to talk less, and they can duplicate it. They can hand off trifolds, right? If you're relying on a sparkling personality and super complicated spiels, it's going to make you less duplicatable, because the next person that wants to share doTERRA might be an introvert. They might not be comfortable with any of this, except who's not comfortable handing out a trifold. And so we want to make sure as we do this that we're making sure that anyone can do what we did, right? Meredith says, I struggle with taking someone who is interested in one product and getting them to enroll with an enrollment kit when they only want one thing. That often happens when I'm at a vendor event. So I'm going to answer this for you, Meredith. So a great way to do that at a vendor event. And here's why it's different than a regular opportunity, but still the same. You're still going to do the 60-second enrollment spiel. So that is, someone says, hey, I'm interested in Breathe. I like the way that smells, and I see on your banner, your black banner behind you, Breathe is for, I don't even, easy breathing, clear airways, whatever. I'd like to get a bottle of Breathe. Awesome, Pamela. Tell me what else you got going on, because I want to make sure that what we help you get is going to help you with everything that you need. Tell me what else you got going on, because Breathe is great for this, this, and this, but might be another oil that's going to be great for that, but can help you with other things, and then it'll be more cost effective. Tell me what you got going on. They tell you what you got going on. You do your enrollment kit. Well, I don't want to spend that much, right? I just wanted that one bottle of oil. We have a mini intro kit. This is where you pull out the mini intro kit, because remember, most of the things that they have going on, lemon, lavender, peppermint is going to help them with it. And it's best for them to get started with something. And 3 oils, lemon, lavender, peppermint, right? And you could say, oh my gosh, this is even better. Why is that even better than Breathe, right? Because lemon's a mucolytic, peppermint opens the airways, but can also help with, and list off a million things and pull out your $55 intro kit handout. They're $10 on our website, and say, even better, look at everything that you get. And this one's only $55, and it's going to do exactly what you want it to do for the reason she asked for the Breathe, and all these other things for all those other problems. It'd be more cost effective for you to get this for $55, get 3 oils instead of 1, get all these other things for free. How does that sound? Right? It doesn't matter what it is. You do want to get comfortable and confident that your lemon, lavender, peppermint can do most anything that you want it to do, and be prepared for that. And so, but it's the same every time, because these top 10 products do take care of just about everything. The 3 take care of just about everything, because I want the mindset to be there that you understand, hey, if I help them get breathe, and it doesn't work for what they want because they're one of those people where for some reason that didn't work, right? When you have 10 oils to pick from or 3 oils to pick from, some problem that they have, something's going to work, right? But if you get them the one oil because you don't try harder and don't try to do the better thing for them, you got a better shot of failing, right? So like my cousin, I got her Serenity and she was up all night. Did the opposite, right? Knocked me out cold, kept her wired all night. Had I only gotten her the Serenity, right? Granted, it was my cousin, so I was able to work through it. But imagine if that was a stranger, I'd never see them again. But had I gotten them the top 10 kit or the lemon, lavender, and peppermint kit, I know she had other things to use. Say, oh my gosh, set that aside. I would make do and swap that out for her for something or tell her to keep it for their family members or whatever. But hey, let's use the peppermint and lemon for these other things that we talked about, this, and this. So that's a long explanation, but I want people to stop customizing and stop doing one-hit wonders if you can, and try to reroute people to a top 10 kit, to a 3-person kit, because it really is best for them. It's best for you and it's best for them. Right. So I want to give another story about the bank because Pamela got us on this bank conversation in my last team meeting that I had with my team. So this is why you want to share your testimonials and share stories everywhere, because all Pamela did was comment on a post.
Mm-hmm.
It led to, right, a live video. It led to a conversation on my own team business meeting. And it turns out one of my builders shared with the team that she related to your story because she actually refuses to do direct deposit with Doterra. And I said, why in the world would you do that? Like, it's an extra $1 if you don't do direct deposit. She makes it a point every week that she gets her Doterra checks, right? Because she enrolls people. So she gets a check every week. Every time she goes to the bank to cash it, she goes inside and she tries to make sure that she talks to a different teller each time. So the last time she did it, she said she took her trifold and she was able to book a class. I cashed her Doterra check, creating conversation about Doterra from cashing that check and handing them a trifold and scheduling a class.
Wow.
The bank is a gold mine.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's what's so awesome too. My husband used to work at the bank, and people always have trouble understanding segues into working with different people at different workplaces. So at the bank, when I was sick and starting to feel better, my husband worked at a bank. And I said, I'd love to work at the bank. I just need, a customer service job where I'm told what to do because I still have brain damage. And he was like, you'd never do it. And I'm like, why? He's like, you have to touch money. I'm like, oh, I can't do that. I have a total aversion to money, the germs and the disgustingness and the smell. And I'm like, ew. But you know what? We enrolled every single person when I started Doterra at all the bank branches because of my aversion and disgust with all the germs associated with money.
Oh my gosh.
And we helped them all get On Guard.
Wow.
They diffuse On Guard. Back then they were making their own hand sanitizers. We'd give them the back to school recipe with the hand sanitizer recipe on it, right? Think about who you're talking to. Make a plan. If you're going to go to the bank, make a plan. If you're going to a retreat, make a plan. What do you have in your purse? If you're going to the bank, make sure you have the hand sanitizer. Have one that's almost empty with 1/8 of a bottle left, and save the last 1/8 of a bottle of every single Doterra hand sanitizer that you have. Every time you go to the bank to cash a check, give one to the teller and your trifold, right? Think about and have a plan. Where am I going? What do those people encounter? How could I help them?
Mhm.
Yeah, you're sampling. That's pretty effective sampling,
Mhm.
right? I'm not just random sampling someone. They really need that.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Money totally grosses me out. Right? Kills 99.9% of germs on contact. You can look it up on the thing. All right, let me see some of these questions, Pamela, and I appreciate you staying on with us. Do you have any more scenarios that want to share? I know those were the ones that caught my interest in your testimonial. How'd your class
I have a
go?
lot, but my class was good. I didn't teach it. My upline taught it. She was here for the Symphony of the Cells training in Denver. And so she asked if I wanted to do my launch class. She taught it. I got 2 enrollments.
Yay.
A lot of my already enrolled people showed up to learn more about oils and how to teach a class. And one person had to leave early. The 4 people that remained till the end, 2 enrolled. So it was a 50% enrollment rate there.
Awesome.
Yeah, I have a great story. Well, it's not so much yet a great story, but I don't get manicures and pedicures very much because of the salon toxins. I can hardly stand to go into a salon. But I wanted toes and fingers done for this big doTERRA week I was having. So I took my own polish, my Mineral Fusion polish, so that I wouldn't have the toxins from the salon polishes. And it was a wonderful treatment. I had the most amazing foot, leg, and hand massages. The girl was awesome. But the sad thing was when I went to use the bathroom, there was a bottle of Febreze on the back of the toilet. And I could smell that it had been in the air already when I got in there. And then I was watching one of the other women who had just finished a pedicure take a bottle of Formula 409 and spray it all over the foot bath, and then some Clorox. And I'm thinking, these poor women, every time they use or finish with a client, they have to spray more of this stuff into the air, get their faces down in there and scrub it. So I had my toes done first, and then I had my fingernails done. And as I was sitting there talking with my technician, she started talking about, all the contagious stuff that's been going around. And I just said, well, you know what? I've been able to avoid every single thing I've been exposed to this year by using doTERRA On Guard. And she's like, really? I've heard of that before. My cousin in Florida does that. So we're talking a few minutes. Of course, my nails are wet, so I can't reach into my backpack. I said, could I give you something? She said, sure. I said, could you reach into my backpack? So she did. She pulled out my trifold envelope and an invitation to the class. So again, she didn't come, but she's got the trifold. And I want to go back there and say, I was in last week and I had such a hard time with all of the harsh chemicals in the air and the bathroom. And I'd like to share with you that you could do this in a much safer, healthier, less toxic way. So yeah, that's the plan.
What you're doing, you're creating your own opportunities. But what others aren't seeing is that all these opportunities are there. I was telling Pamela before we got on, I channeled my inner Pamela. I've been doing this for years, so I don't have any problem talking to strangers about doTERRA. But I thought of Pamela. I was buying a couch, and when we went to go sit down at the desk, the woman says, "You smell amazing." And I said, "Well, thank you very much. It's essential oils." And I reached into my bag and I said, "Have you heard of doTERRA essential oils? That's what's making me smell so amazing." And you'll also notice that it made me very decisive in our buying decisions today, right? Because we were super decisive. And I wanted to appeal, right, to her world. And her world was, dang, that was easy. These people just spent all this money on a couch and it was super easy. I said, I wore my essential oils to help me be decisive today. You guys should diffuse these in your store to help your customers make decisions and be decisive. And right, because I wanted to talk to her as from a salesperson perspective about getting oils for herself, but also for the opportunity. So she took the trifolds. We're going to chat. There were other people that, needed to be waited on as we finished up our sale. But point being, I just went and bought a couch, right? You then have to be able to identify these opportunities and create them. It's not that people aren't open, right? Follow what Pamela's doing. Follow what I'm doing. Even if I just handed her a trifold and said, hey, you know, could you use natural solutions for something in your life? And so that actually was part of our conversation as well. And her daughter needs help with something for monthly time, right? So we chatted about Clary Calmer, filling out paperwork, just small talk, chit chat. And, so we'll see what happens from there, but I have the opportunity to follow up because I have her card, I have her email, etc. Right? So she'll be invited to my next class. We'll make sure she read her trifold, but I want people to see that. I'm going to, Pamela, I'm going to read through these quick, and if that's okay, just have you stay on for a couple more minutes.
Sure.
Make sure that if someone has a question specific for you. Okay, what do you do with older people who are not online at all? They can call customer service. So I have a builder, right? We have to stop making excuses for why things don't work and find solutions for them. Doterra has the solutions for all this. I have a builder who doesn't even know how to log into the back office or log into Doterra. She calls 1-800 and places her order every month. And when she has someone that wants to enroll, she calls 1-800-411-8151 and enrolls them, or they get on the phone together, right? There's solutions for all of this. Holly says, what is the 60-second enrollment? Where can I find more info? So if you're new to my lives and information here, and you're watching this live right now, that means you are in Lisa Zimmer Essential Oils Biz Tips Facebook group. Every single person needs to click on the announcements tab and scroll through all of the steps, the big turquoise images. And one of the very first ones is 60-second enrollment. So click on that photo and then read all there is about the 60-second enrollment. You can also click on units tab. I have it in both places. All right, Nancy says make and takes. Some girls work night shifts. Asked if they can just buy the roller bottles. How do we address this? The answer is no. There's lots of videos in here about this. We want to get them to a class, but also build a relationship. You charge more than for the roller bottles outside of classes. You cannot sell roller bottles, Nancy. It's against company policy. So what you can do is make and take. So when someone says, awesome, I want, they didn't enroll at class or they saw you use a roller, I want one of those. Awesome, I'll help you order it, but it'll be even less than the roller bottle, right? And so you need to learn math with your oils and figure out that a bottle of Breathe is 20 whatever dollars now, but for them to buy a 5 milliliter roller bottle with 10 drops of Breathe is $5. There's 250 drops in a bottle, right? So do the math. They're going to pay $150 or whatever it is. I don't know that one off the top of my head. But do the math, memorize a couple. They're going to spend $150 on 5 milliliter roller bottles that they can make with a $20 bottle of Breathe. So explain that to them. Say you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. We just do the rollers for our class so you can get a sample size to try it, and then we help you get it cheaper when you buy the actual oils. So learn those scripts and learn math and how it relates to them and how it benefits them, right? So the reason I'm struggling with math is Doterra's changed all the prices on everything, and I used to have everything memorized. So like the old bottle of Balance and Serenity, right? It was $50 for the two of them, and everybody would come to me and say, I want that calming stress sleep roller. It's amazing. It changed my life. Awesome. That's not how it works. We help you get the actual oils so it's a lot less expensive, right? I used to sell 10 milliliter bottles for $10, right? We can't do that. It's against company policy and it's not safe to do that for people. They need to make it themselves. And so $10, and I would get 17 rollers out of those 2 bottles of oil for $50. 17, right? They ended up paying $170 for the $50 Balance and Serenity. So no, that doesn't make sense. You have to talk to them in a language that makes sense. Say, hey, Susie Q, when I had to transition, right, from selling $10 roller bottles, because that was wrong, to doing doTERRA the right way, and they'd say, hey, I want another $10 roller of blah, 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 blah. Say, I am so sorry. I did not realize what I was doing. I was doing it wrong, and I was not being fair to you. We need to help you order those oils, because that $10 roller of Balance and Serenity, every time you order one of those from me, it ended up costing you $170 for the $50 in oils. I am so sorry. Let's help you get your own account, and we're going to cut that price in half today. We're going to help you get those oils for $85, get your own account. Now, every time you reorder them, they're $50, and I just cut your price in half, right? So just figure out ways to make it beneficial for them, because that's what it is. All right, Holly says, I like the idea of asking them to pass on the trifold to someone they think could benefit from natural solutions. Always, 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 always. And when I pass those on with my contact information on them, unless it's a member already enrolled who wants to share doTERRA, who has upgraded to a wellness advocate, and I give them a stack of 5, maybe blank ones. I print all my trifolds blank, so that I can hand blank ones to someone brand new. And then if they actually start enrolling people, then I tell them, now you have to go to the Lisa Zimmer website and get your own trifold for rights to distribute, but use mine until yours come in. All right, I think we're good there. I think the rest of them, Pamela, I can answer and let you go. I sure appreciate you giving me 45 minutes of your time today and sharing those stories. I want everyone to be able to do doTERRA real life and not be constantly missing opportunities and missing the opportunity to create opportunities. I want you to be able to create opportunities everywhere you go in your everyday life to do doTERRA real life. So thank you, Pamela. Good luck to you. I'm excited that you launched yesterday, and I can't wait to hear more good testimonials for you. So as far as follow-up, do you have your process in place for follow-up with all the people that just enrolled? Yay.
I do. Yeah, so, I always do the same thing. It's really lovely to have that in place. And I just want to thank you for making this so easy.
You are very welcome. We want everyone to be able to start doTERRA and not be scared of it, and to feel like they can do it too. And if we don't make it easy, everyone won't want to do it. We want everyone want to do this and share this. So thank you for your time. Yeah. So you, my dear, you're welcome to stay on. I'm going to keep answering more questions, or if you're ready to check out, because I know you're busy, you can hit leave meeting. But either way, thank you for joining me. And then if you would do me a favor and shoot me an email, and as a thank you for joining me today, I want you to pick something from my website, any of the make and take, any of the handouts up to $25. So we sure appreciate your time and sharing your stories and giving back to this community, because we know your time is valuable too.
Thank you. I know just which one, and I know whom I'm going to start with it.
Yay! Fantastic. All right, so you email me, and then again, you're welcome to stay on if you like, but I'm going to dig into some more questions, and I sure appreciate your time today.
Okay, thanks, Lisa. Okay. Bye.
All right. Scrolling through questions here for you. So Margaret says, I then have people wanting to buy them retail to see if they like it. So one thing I never ever do, no one I have ever spoken to in doTERRA in 4.5 years knows that doTERRA is even available for retail. So remember, if you're offering people retail, they're going to pick retail, and that is not best for them, and it is not best for you. So make sure that you're not just picking, you're setting yourself up to fail when you offer retail, okay? So again, right, you want to do the $55 mini intro kit enrollment, right? And pull that out of your pocket and share that with people. Pull it up on your phone. If you buy it from me, it's a digital download. Screenshot that, have it saved somewhere, and say, you know what, you do not want that, you want this. Tell them what is best for them. And if you say, oh, you can do retail and it's $25, well, of course they're going to pick that, because that's cheaper, but it's not what's best for them. If we always do what's best for the customer, you're always going to win. Meredith says, thank you. I forgot about the 60-second enrollment. Yep. I would love to challenge every single person watching this video to revisit the 60-second enrollment and spend this week applying it to every situation you run into. I don't care what the situation is, you can apply that language and script. Someone says, I want to buy a bottle of Breathe. I like using this because this was a real life conversation. Awesome. Can you tell me why? See how I just did a question? Why? Why do you want Breathe? So why would I do that? They know the name Breathe. So I need to find out more about why they want the Breathe for themselves, but how do they even know what Breathe is? Because that's just a sign that they already know about these products. Why do they know about these products, right? So he says, oh, I got this at a vendor event and I liked it and I'm sick and I want some more. Awesome. Tell me what else you got going on. 60-second enrollment. Why do I want him to tell me what else you got going on? Because I don't want to sell him a bottle of Breathe. That is not going to be the best thing for him. It's not the most cost effective. What if it doesn't help with what he has going on, right? Because it might open his airways, but it's not going to help with the rest of the stuff that he's got going on. And I might not ever see him again if I just sell him a bottle of Breathe and it doesn't work for what he thinks it's going to work for. I need to do my job and help him get what's best for him. It is a way better deal for him to get a kit. And I need to express that to him. And if I file the 60-second enrollment, that will happen. But because he knew Breathe, I need to say, how do you know about Breathe? Tell me what you know. Have you used it? Where did you, whatever. Ask a question that's going to help you get that answer. So I said, tell me, you already knew Breathe. How did you know about Breathe? Got it at a vendor event. Liked it. Awesome. Are you working with that person? Is that person taking care of you? Why do I want to ask that? I want to ask that because it's what's best for them. What if they were working with that person and my name just came up or he actually saw a billboard? It doesn't matter how they saw you or contacted you. You want to find out, is that person taking care of you? Because what if that person was their sister or their mom or their cousin or their best friend? Right? I'm going to still 60-second enrollment them, get them to the finish line, no matter who it is. And if it is someone that they know that they have a relationship with who's helping them, I'm going to say, awesome, Kenny. Now I want you to contact your sister and tell her that you want to get your own account and you want to get the Home Essentials Kit and the Lifelong Vitality Pack. And I will text that to you. So she can help you get that. Why would I do that? It's the right thing to do, right? And me enrolling them, if their sister's doing the business and they just don't understand that, is not going to do anything for me because they're going to get their products and their sister's going to go, what did you just do? And they're going to stop enrolling for stop ordering for 6 months and want to be under their sister. So, right, help people join your team that are your relationships, right? So in this case, Kenny said, no, I got it at a vendor event. I said, oh, is that person taking care of you? Is that person helping you? Nope, I have no idea who it is. They've never followed up with me and I don't know their name. So I enrolled them with a Home Essentials Kit and Lifelong Vitality Pack and then gave them trifolds to hand out. And they turned around all in the 2 weeks of starting and enrolled someone. Right? Follow the process. I was on a call recently and they said, oh, stop worrying about processes and systems. You should be worried about a process or a system. Everyone successful has a process and a system. And if they say they don't, they're lying, right? We all have a process and a system. If you don't, how are you doing things? How are you teaching your other team how to do things? Just telling people to go enroll people is not going to help them enroll people. The process is create opportunities. The process is hand them a trifold. The process is, tell me what you got going on. Yeah, we have a solution for that. The best thing for everyone to start with is one of our starter kits because it's most cost effective. You're going to save the most money. It's going to help with everything that you just told me about. If you want the small one or the big one, that's a process and a system. Find your process and system. And then master it. Make sure it's super simple so that every single person on your team can copy you. That's a process and a system, and you better have one. Rainbows, unicorns, hugging, loving, and enrolling, telling people to enroll people is not going to help you enroll people and build a business and change the healthcare system. Having a process and a system that someone else can copy is. Very passionate about processes and systems. Okay. I will probably have to come back and answer these questions later because we're almost out of time. But please, please, please read the comments because other people are sharing how to do this, how to engage with people. Sherry says, I cashed my check once and the teller said she diffuses on guard and the other tellers thought she was crazy at first. They all think we're crazy at first, don't they? She was happy to see my check and showed her coworkers that she wasn't crazy after all, right? Nancy says, I like to keep my classes to an hour. Does this not make the classes longer? I'm not sure what we're referring to. I'm thinking that you might be referring to the make and take. So my make and take classes are 45 minutes to an hour from the time I get there to the time I'm walking out the door. So I read the trifold. You can learn all this by lisazimmer.net/videos, and I go through it. And also you can join my training course, WWZD. It's on my website, lisazimmer.net/shop. And I go through with you. So I read my trifold, we transition to the make and take, we get everybody enrolled, and from the time they sit down to the time I'm leaving, it's 45 minutes to an hour. Karen says she's going to go to the bank and spray the money in front of them. Mary Elizabeth says she's going to have a class on how to teach a class. Absolutely. So I think that is fantastic, and you should be doing that. If you follow my videos, you will see that I tell you to teach your class the exact same way every time. Repetition, repetition, repetition is how the human brain learns. So when you teach the same class every time, I don't care who comes to your class. I don't care if it's all members. You're still going to teach your make and take class by reading the trifolds and then transitioning into the make and take. Why? They're already members. You're teaching them through repetition and memorization that they can do it, right? If they see that 2, 3, 4 times, they're going to realize, well, heck, she just does that every time. I can totally do that. Yep, yes, you can. It's just like teaching children, right? The alphabet is memorization and consistency. You do it the same way every time. Teach your classes and then show your people how to teach a class. I have an example of how I teach my make and take in my WWZD course. You can watch that video. All right, I'll come back and answer the rest of these later because we're out of time. But please, please, please start learning to identify and creating your own opportunities in doTERRA. There is no reason for any person on this planet to come up with these excuses about why they can't get going in doTERRA, why they can't do what everybody else does. I don't have any friends. I don't know anybody. People don't come to my classes. You create the opportunities. They are everywhere. You just aren't paying attention, right? If you can go to the bank and cash a check, you create that opportunity. Will they turn around and enroll on the spot? Maybe, maybe not. Some people can, some people can't. We don't know where they're at in their journey, right? So the biggest problem people have, and I see this all the time, and it's so frustrating, right? They go to the bank, give someone a trifold, engage in conversation. That person's not ready, so they don't get to help them with doTERRA. And that person says, oh, I can't do it like Pamela, so I suck at it, so I'm not going to do it. right? But really what's happening is that person's never heard of doTERRA. That person might not be ready for natural solutions. You just planted the seed. They might be ready in a month. They might be ready next week. They might be ready 6 months from now or a year from now. I'm still enrolling people at 4.5 years that I talked to when I first started. They weren't ready yet. It's not that I sucked at it or that I was a failure or that I wasn't as good as Susie Q. They weren't ready yet. So stop giving up before you get started. They simply weren't ready yet. Doesn't mean you're bad at it. It doesn't mean you give up. It means you keep going. Stop it. Right? So follow up with them. How's it going? Maybe they never come. Let it go, move on, look for the people that are ready and that do need you. Everybody needs you. They just don't all know it yet. Doesn't mean you're bad at it. It doesn't mean you give up. It means you keep going and you look for the ones that are ready for you, that you can change their life. My fire is fueled from the ones that I can change their life, for the ones that send me the message, thank you. I battled fertility support for the last 10 years. I'm pregnant. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can have the next 20 people not enroll with me, and that is not going to dampen my fire that was created from the people that I did succeed with. So stop letting the ones that aren't ready yet put out your fire. Keep fueling your fire and showing up for the ones that are ready, that are excited, that do appreciate you. Stop letting everyone else that isn't ready yet steal your joy. Whether it's a spouse, a friend, a family member, you need to be stronger than the naysayers. And you need to focus on the people that are showing up, that do appreciate you, right? This is a great example, right? We're in Lisa Zimmer Essential Oils Biz Tips. Not everyone in doTERRA loves me, folks. I know, shocker, right? But it's true. I don't care where you go. People aren't going to like you. People aren't going to want to buy your product. I don't care who you are or what you do. You're not doing this for them. You're doing this for you, your family, and everyone else that does love you, that does appreciate you, that is dying for your help that you haven't met yet. You're not doing it for the naysayers. Go share oils, go create your opportunities, go change the world. Happy oiling.